Let's start with the truth every trader eventually learns the hard way. The market doesn't care what you think, it rewards what you know. Trading isn't about luck or instinct, it's about preparation. In a world that moves at algorithmic speed and reacts to every whisper of economic data or geopolitical tension, education isn't optional, it's your competitive edge. I often tell new traders that education is their first investment, and unlike most trades, it always pays off. When I began trading, I quickly realized how dynamic this world really is. New instruments, new platforms, new regulations, it's a living organism that never sleeps. And if you stop learning, the market will remind you, usually through your account balance. The great trader Paul Tudor Jones once said, "The secret to being successful from a trading perspective is to have an indefatigable and an undying and unquenchable thirst for information and knowledge." That line has stayed with me for years, because it perfectly captures what trading truly demands, not perfection, but curiosity. Continuous education keeps you adaptable. It sharpens decision-making. It helps you refine strategies and manage risk more effectively. But most importantly, it gives you confidence, not the emotional kind, but the disciplined, data-driven kind that keeps you steady when markets go wild. Think about how fast conditions shift. One quarter, we're worried about inflation, the next, central banks reverse course. A new geopolitical event hits the headlines, and suddenly volatility spikes. Without constant learning, you're playing last season's game with last season's rules. So, what does educating yourself really look like in practice? It means learning the language of the markets, understanding the difference between day trading, swing trading, and position trading. It's about knowing why a day trader watches the 5-minute chart while a position trader barely glances at intraday noise. It's about understanding what technical analysis is trying to tell you, that charts are not crystal balls, but probability maps built from human behavior. And then there's fundamental analysis, the art of reading between the numbers. GDP, inflation, company earnings, industry cycles, each of these tells part of a story about where value may be hiding. But here's the challenge, markets never tell you the full story at once. Education teaches you how to connect the fragments, how to interpret signals, confirm them, and act with precision instead of emotion. Let me give you an example, a small case study that mirrors what many beginners experience. John was a new trader who dove straight into the markets after a few lucky wins on stock tips he picked up from online forums. You know the type, confident after a few green days. For a while, he thought he had a gift. But when volatility hit, those wins evaporated, and the losses started piling up. The problem wasn't the market, it was that John didn't have a framework. He was trading opinions, not strategies. Eventually, he paused, humbled but not defeated. He decided to do what most beginners avoid, he went back to the drawing board. He studied. He learned technical analysis, how to read price action, identify support and resistance, and use indicators properly. Then he learned fundamental analysis, how earnings, inflation, and macro events move the needle. He joined a trading community, attended webinars, and read voraciously. Bit by bit, he built his own hybrid strategy, combining swing trading and position trading. This time, his decisions weren't impulsive, they were informed. The result? His performance stabilized. He started using stop losses and diversifying his portfolio. He wasn't chasing trades anymore, he was managing risk and compounding small, consistent gains. That's what education does. It transforms chaos into structure. If you've been trading for a while and feel stuck, maybe your results are inconsistent, or your confidence swings with every PL update, take that as a signal. Go back to learning. The market evolves, and so should you. Even the most experienced traders never stop studying. Ray Dalio once said, "He who lives by the crystal ball soon learns to eat ground glass." In other words, forecasting is dangerous if it's not grounded in deep understanding. Education gives you that grounding, and here's something I've noticed in my own career: when you commit to learning, your emotional control improves. You stop reacting to the noise because you understand the structure behind it. Suddenly, a dip isn't panic, it's opportunity. A rally isn't euphoria, it's just another cycle. Education builds that calm awareness. It's not glamorous, but it's what separates traders who survive from those who disappear after a few bad months. So, if you're listening to this and wondering where to start small but stay consistent. Read a few pages of a trading book each night. Watch one high-quality video course a week. Join communities where people share charts and discuss strategy, but don't chase every opinion you hear. Filter, test, adapt. That's the process. And if you ever catch yourself thinking, I already know enough, that's your cue to go learn something new. The market punishes complacency and rewards curiosity. That's all for today. Remember, education isn't preparation for trading, it is trading. Now I'll leave you with a question: what's the most valuable trading lesson you've learned so far, and how did it change the way you trade? Share your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to read them and maybe feature a few in future episodes. See you soon.
Thank you for listening to the 101 Trading Tips in the Ultimate Trading Podcast, brought to you by bellsforex.com AudioWorks. We hope this episode gave you insights, perspective, and practical ideas to strengthen your trading mindset and improve your decision-making. Stay disciplined, keep learning, and remember, every trade is a step toward building your edge. If you found value in today's episode, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Sharing the podcast with fellow traders helps us grow and bring even more free trading education to the community. Visit us anytime at bellsforex.com for resources, guides, and tools to support your trading journey. Until next time, trade smart, stay disciplined, and keep building your edge. Happy trading.